Welcome back to Casiano Travels, home of the family that lives by car and plane. Today we're in beautiful New York City. Let me go ahead and show you the view of our hotel room real quick. This is the view outside our hotel room. Not too bad. We ended up getting upgraded here at the Hilton Doubletree on the 34th floor, which is 36 floors, so we got one of the higher ones. Really excited about that. But the most exciting part of this trip, this is our first trip without cash since he was born. So this is a 2.5-year-old kid. That means we have not had a vacation, just me and Christine, together in 2.5 years. So we got in last night, went and had some tapas, a couple nice cocktails, and kind of just strolled the city. And 10 minutes into our walk, we see a guy get jumped in the middle of Times Square. So welcome to New York City. We have the beautiful Christine over here, just working away.
Hi.
She enjoyed the cocktails a little too much last night. And unfortunately, I forgot the camera, so I didn't get to capture any of the fun moments we had. But today we got a lot on the plate, and we're about to go walk to Keen's Steakhouse here in Times Square, Manhattan, whatever area we're in right now. And this is one of the oldest restaurants in New York City. And I think the coolest part about all this was Babe Ruth, the absolute just legendary baseball player, some say the greatest of all time. This was apparently his favorite steakhouse, and he used to frequently dine. Up on the ceiling, they have a bunch of pipes for smoking tobacco back then, which was really popular. And it's just layered all throughout the ceiling, so I'll have to get a good picture of that. But probably the coolest part about it all is there's one with Babe Ruth's inscription on it. So that was the pipe. When he would walk in and eat there and grab a steak or a mutton chop, which they're famous for, he'd grab that pipe and he'd go to town on it, which is cool. Very cool. The history is always awesome to see stuff like that. So let's go have some mutton chops. So me and Christine just got yelled at by a random guy on the street. I have no idea why. I don't even know what he said. But apparently he didn't like us walking on his sidewalk. Again, welcome to New York City. Here we are. Famous Keen's Chop House. It looks like they got a bunch of built-on outdoor dining since COVID started. So these are all the pipes that I was talking about earlier that are up on the wall, and they have them everywhere. They go for the whole building. Pretty cool atmosphere. Christine, you said you feel like you're back in time.
It literally feels like we just stepped back into time. It's so cool.
It's like the 1920s.
Yeah, the roof is like really short, so it kind of takes you, like it's not what you typically see anymore. So
and just dim lighting everywhere. Pictures from way back. Really cool. Oh man, so I'm cracking up laughing right now because I can't stop thinking about when we ordered about 20 minutes ago. The waiter was like, "Do you have any questions for me?" I was like, "Yeah, tell me about your roasted vegetables, local vegetables." And he went through each one and said where they're from, what they are, what they taste like. And he's like, "Ma'am, do you have any questions?" And she was like, "Tell me about your roasted vegetables." It was like I just said the roasted vegetables. I can't stop laughing about it. It was, you had to be there. Christy just going in with the veggies. Cheap date tonight.
yeah,
got the famous mutton chop. I got the mini lunch version. These are the famous pipes. Theodore Roosevelt, Buffalo Bill, Babe Ruth, Chuck Norris, Michael Jackson, John F. Kennedy. So anytime we pass boba, Christine's got to get her some boba. Every time. You see one, we get one. So Keen's was good. I'd never had a mutton chop before, so highly recommend.
Yeah, it was actually really good. It tasted like pretty much like a steak. I only had a bite because I wasn't feeling something super heavy for lunch, but...
Can you tell me about your vegetables, please?
So embarrassing.
Alright, so for dinner, we got reservations at Catch Steak, which I guess is where Kevin Durant and Michael Rappaport gotten into an altercation. Don't know a ton about that. I guess it happened a couple weeks ago, but heard it's amazing food. Alright, a little bit more dressed up than we were a second ago. Seeing some friends, an old friend from college, and gonna go have some Catch Steak. There's the guy. Look at this stud muffin.
How are we? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you guys.
This is their apartment. This is Carrie. And how much do you pay for this apartment, Carrie?
$100 a month.
$100 a month can get you this in New York City, guys.
Nothing.
Dan, tell us where we're going.
Out here live in the West Village, going to the Garret, which is actually above this Five Guys. I swear to God, it's a trendy bar.
He's taking us to a speakeasy inside of a Five Guys.
Out here live.
All right, just finished up Catch Steak.
Out here live.
About a million different steaks, sides, drinks. What'd you guys think tonight?
Oh my god, it was all so
We're
good.
vibing, we're vibing.
So Dan, where are we going right now?
I'm going to Katz, which is in Soho, hitting the FDR on the east side to get down there. Traffic's been kind of nuts, but we got a beautiful day. We got Scampy out in the back.
Got Christine in the back. Dan's our Uber for the weekend. And yeah, Katz Delicatessen, one of the most famous restaurants in New York. Been around since 1888, which is kind of crazy. I don't know too many things that have been around since 1888. Do you, Christine?
No, I'm really excited for this one.
The king of pastrami, here we come, baby. Katz Delicatessen. Been called by a couple different names since it started in 1888, but here we are now, and Dan's mouth is just watering.
Yeah, I could use a pastrami to my face right now.
We'll get you one soon enough.
Cure this hangover.
Credit cards over there.
So we ended up securing the bag at Katz. We got our sandwiches. About an hour later, we drove out to Brooklyn. What's crazy, and Dan wasn't even fazed by this, but sandwiches were like $25 a piece at Katz, which I thought was crazy. You ain't at Subway. This ain't no $5 footlong.
Come on, Scampy.
Cheers.
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 Love it.
That is a sandwich. Totally worth
Dude, that is
every dollar.
It has so much meat.
What'd you guys get?
Corned beef and pastrami.
I'll give it 8-9.
That's like one of the better, like the meat is so good. That's one of the better sandwiches I've had. I would have to say like, I'd probably have to say like a solid just 9.
It's a rookie score. 9.0. I think the corned beef is like a 8.3. It's really good, but pastrami on the other hand, that's like a 9.2. That's one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. It's kind of like you go down to your local barbecue joint in Texas, but it's got a totally different flavor profile. Just that buttery, like melt in your mouth beef is just incredible.
We're out here live, drinking beers, rooftop. Classic New York. You can only do this stuff like 3-4 months out of the year.
So we went to the Supreme store, pretty overrated, waited in a long line. The store was just full of other like bottom sellers, so it wasn't that cool. Got told I couldn't film in there, so we had a jet pretty quick. Out here live, Stone Street. Just a ton of bars. There's like a million people. COVID haven everywhere. Hold your breath when you walk through these crowds. That's the only advice I have. Cheers.
We are out here live.
We're live. Look at this sunset back here.
We're in the financial district still, on the west side.
Hold up.
Looking at Jersey City. My office is right behind you.
Just bang the hammer at the New York Stock Exchange.
Ring the bell. Bang the hammer.
These beautiful
Montauk Summer Ales.
$15 beers. No place has a better bargain for drinks in New York City. You're not going to find drinks any cheaper than New York City.
2 beers, 2 wines.
Yeah,
$50?
yeah. It's the best. If you're on a budget, come to New York, and money will take care of itself. What's money?
What is like? Money's unreal.
Off to Nobu after this to go drop another 500, easily 500 tonight at Nobu.
Gonna be a great movie, director.
Cheers.
Cheers, fam.
Cheers. We are cheersing.
We had about 1 million appetizers and spent like $1 million, but we were still hungry. So we just got done with Nobu. Our tab was like 600 bucks. There was appetizers and it didn't fill us up. And here we are at Two Guys Pizza, getting $2 slices of pizza. Dinner for $12. Christine, what do you got to say about Two Bros Pizza?
Pretty dang good. I recommend the cheese. It's very cheesy.
That might be the worst that might be the worst food review I've ever seen. I recommend the cheese. It's very cheesy. This girl's kicked off the channel. Saying goodbye to Christine as I walk her down the elevator to her Uber to go home. I'm staying here for a meeting at Barstool headquarters tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And then I'm coming home. Can't wait to be home. But Christine, what do you think about that trip?
It was so fast, but it was really fun, and we ate too much good food.
We ate like kings on this trip. This was definitely a foodie weekend.
I had a great time. Super thankful to Dan and Carrie for actually showing us around New York since they live here.
Yep, always good to have locals show you around.
I made it to Barstool headquarters, but I would have looked like an absolute idiot to film in there. Thanks for watching.